U.S. facing economic hurricane, J.P. Morgan. And this is an article from the RT, and it was published June 2nd, 2022. I'm going to speak more on this subject, but before I do so, I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the whole full scattered abroad at the four corners of the earth. So, yeah, this is something that we've been foretelling for quite some time now, and not even just the prophets, but you have experts that weigh in on subjects like this. All right, and as you can see, J.P. Morgan, he gave his expert opinion, like Matt Papa would say, and we should all know who J.P. Morgan is. He's like the head of the Chase Bank. All right. And really, he's just what he is. He's just the figurehead. All right. Really, when it comes down to it, the super elite rich own these world banks, these world reserve banks. All right, such as the Rockefellers, and that's just to name one. So anyway, let me read a little bit of this article right here. The boss of Wall Street giant J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon, has warned investors that the U.S. is facing an economic hurricane as the latest challenges posed by Fed's tightening monetary policy and the Ukraine-related crisis are unprecedented. That hurricane is right out there down the road coming our way, Dimon said, speaking at a conference sponsored by Alliance Bernstein Holdings on Wednesday. We don't know if it's a minor one or Superstorm Sandy. You better brace yourself, the CEO said, adding that it's too soon to say how intense the storm would be. According to the head of the nation's biggest bank, U.S. customers still have 6 to 9 months of spending power left in their bank accounts. Dimon stressed that the government's pandemic stimulus is still padding consumers' wallets. So they're saying that there's about 6 to 9 months left of spending power with the U.S. dollar. And as we all should know, the U.S. is facing inflation as of right now. You go anywhere, the price of a lot of items is going up, all right? And really it's because the value of the dollar is going down. You understand? Add in what's going on with the war between Russia and the Ukraine, and it doesn't help the situation at all. All the sanctions that the U.S. and NATO that's been slapped on Russia, it's had an effect, all right, on not just America, but the world, because Russia's now saying to hell with it, all right. You want to slap these sanctions on us, all right. We just won't deal with you nations. We won't deal with the U.S. We won't deal with you NATO nations, all right. So now Russia's using their economic advantages as a war tactic, all right. It's no secret that it was in the news a couple weeks ago that an expert came out and said that there's about 2 months worth of wheat left for the world as far as supplies go. So like I said in that video, we have to wait and see if that prediction comes true. But one thing's for sure is that famine is prophesied about in the Bible, all right? And when you go into the time of ancient Egypt, all right, they had a situation there where their money failed as well, all right? Their dollar collapsed, their currency. And so, if the money failed in ancient Egypt, what do you think is going to happen to this place, modern day Egypt? Everything comes full circle. In addition, ancient Rome ran into the same problem as well with the denarius because the denarius became devalued. They started cutting the denarius with less precious metals. And as a result, and the result of that was the value of the denarius going down. Okay. And another thing is, America is the Roman Empire all over again. So I'm not gonna read any more of this article. So let me just read a precept. Let me get James chapter 5. James 5:1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. And this is speaking about the super elite, all right? Remember how I said that J.P. Morgan, he's just the head, he's just the face? You have people that are even more powerful behind him, all right? That like to remain in the shadows and be hidden, all right? Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud. And the hire of the laborers, that's speaking about us. All right? The Israelites. All right? Remember how they had us in slavery? Obviously, we're not in hardcore slavery today, but taxes and rent is so high that you might as well be slaves, all right? We're not slaves literally, but they practically own us because this is a system that's just predicated upon debt. Everything you do is debt related. You want to get a house, you got to go to the bank and get a loan and get in some debt. Shoot. A lot of people have in their minds that they should go to college and get a degree, and a degree is obviously expensive, so you have to go to the bank and get a loan for that. All right. You want to get a car, you gotta take out a loan for that, and your credit's got to be a certain level, your credit score. And credit in and of itself, when you think about it, is a scam too, because you're buying something, all right, and then you're paying interest to the bank, and the bank is just making money off you. You see? That's called usury. And you know what the scriptures say about usury. And this is a hypocritical nation. They say that this is a God-fearing nation. You look at the back of a dollar bill, it says, "In God we trust." You know what I'm saying? They say this is a nation that's founded upon Christian values. So it's very, very obvious that there's just been a lot of lies told to us. All right? So where was I? Verse 3. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which are kept back by fraud, crieth, and cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. And remember how when you go back to the story with Esau in the book of Genesis, it says how his blessing will be the fatness of the earth. So Esau, he's living in his power, right now, as of today. He has the fatness of the earth. But we're seeing how he's losing his power gradually. And it's ironic. The very thing that he wants to implement, the NWO, it's gonna lead to his downfall. It's gonna lead to him losing his power. And you saw, they don't believe in the Most High. They don't really see it. All right. They don't think that they're really gonna fall. You know, they have something called the Fourth Industrial Revolution. All right. And so, there's that belief where um people are gonna merge with machine. Okay. And I'm trying to like figure out how I can word this, cause you know how it is up here nowadays. Um, but yeah, man, Esau believes that he is God. He's gonna become a god. All right, I'll put it like that, basic. So let me read verse 5 again. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. And what it means by the day of slaughter, nourish your heart. Um, in the ancient world, when you wanted to eat, when you wanted like some meat protein, you would kill the animal on that same day, and you would eat it on that same day, and so the meat would be fresh. All right. Obviously nowadays, the average person doesn't eat fresh meat. You gotta go to the grocery store, and you gotta get some meat that's been sitting around for days. You know, and not to mention how, you know, the food system here in America, it's terrible. I mean, it's just terrible. That's why you got a lot of people that are obese. A lot of people that suffer from diseases. But that's another topic. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he does not resist you. And we're the just, all right? We're the just. So let me get Revelation chapter 6, because I've been thinking about that chapter a lot lately. This is Revelation 6 and 1. I'll start from the top. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he sat on him, had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. This is speaking about the Lord. The second seal war. All right, verse 3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red. And the red horse is speaking about Esau, because the horse represents power. And Esau, he has the power today. He was given the power. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. I mean, come on, man. This is clear. Power was given unto him to take peace from the earth. Is there peace on the earth today? Absolutely not. All right. You have people that are crying and complaining, about the lives that we live today. I mean, think about it. We're living in a time where inflation is at a all-time high. All right. In our modern day lives, and we're in the brink of World War III. So, if you're a person that's ignorant, I mean, you can't deny that the future is looking doubtful. You really can't deny that. There's no future here in this place. All right, this man is getting ready to lose his power, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, and that sword is Esau's blessing. Remember in the book of Genesis, that was another blessing of Esau, the sword, which the sword is the modern day gun. All right, his military, his military. Verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. The black horse represents famine. And we're living in the time of the beginning of the black horse. All right? Remember, I mentioned earlier how, you had an expert come out and said that there's only a couple months worth of wheat left for the world. All right? And remember, even prior to that, Joe Biden came out and made a speech saying that a global food shortage is real. It's going to be real. All right? And it's going to get so bad here in America, and not just in America, but like in other places as well, that people are they're gonna be desperate. They're gonna be looking for a savior. They're gonna be looking for a solution to the problem. And Esau's gonna pose as the solution to the problem, and they're gonna say, "Here, come here. We have our new system that's gonna be implemented, and if you wanna be inside the system, if you wanna partake in it, all right. If you don't wanna be off the grid, then you're gonna have to do such and such in order to be a beneficiary of it." You understand what I'm trying to say? Revelation, the 13th chapter, is gonna come to pass. You understand? And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And so what verse 6 is speaking about is the denarius. You see, back then, the Roman Empire had the denarius, and the denarius was a day's worth of pay. All right, you had the military that were on the payroll, and they would get paid by the day, and they would get a denarius. And one of the reasons why the Roman Empire fell was because of the money problems that they ran into. All right, the denarius just lost its value. It was so devalued that they couldn't even pay their military anymore. You know, remember how I mentioned that they was cutting it with undesirable metals and devaluing the currency? Well, we're seeing that today. We're seeing how they're printing more and more and more money, which the Fed note, the Fed note is only valuable because they say it's valuable. It's really just a piece of paper that's printed by the government. All right? Which again, this is a fraudulent system that we're in. Real money is precious metals, gold, silver. And even back then you had a barter system. And so the Roman Empire fell. One of the reasons why it fell was because of the money problems that they ran into. And this is the modern day Rome. America is modern day Rome. All right? And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and the 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So in other words, when you see that food and like bread, bread starts costing a lot of money, almost, I guess you could say like a day's worth of pay for a person, then it's indicative that we are living in the last days. You understand? Verse 7. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. So we're not in the fourth seal yet. And the pale horse represents death and destruction when the missiles drop, the nuclear missiles. And also when our Lord comes back with the chariots, or Michael the archangel, you're gonna have the so-called UFOs, you know, just flying around, just raining down destruction, shooting down laser beams. That's in Isaiah 66. And so, at the same time, while destruction is getting rained down from the missiles and the chariots, you're gonna have the elect that are getting beamed up and being saved from the destruction. Because remember, the Bible speaks about salvation, being saved. What are you gonna need salvation from? Think about it. I mean, you let the Christian church tell it. Well, you're already saved if you're a Christian, if you're in the faith, if you believe. So that shit don't make no sense. And then when you read prophecy in the Bible, you read the book of Matthew, you read the book of Luke, speaks about the last days, the latter days, the end times. You even go back and read the prophecies in the Old Testament, which haven't come to pass yet. You have to question yourself. What is it speaking about? What destruction is going to take place here on the earth? It's going to be from the missiles and the UFOs. And the missiles are going to be shot down come World War III. And we're living in the times where World War III is imminent. It's imminent. You even have experts that weigh in on it and say that it's imminent. And obviously the prophets have been saying that it's inevitable. It's all biblical prophecy. You see, you gotta filter things through the scriptures. You gotta see what's going on around you. The Bible says to be circumspect. And so we're watching the news, we're watching, and we're filtering it through the scriptures. We're tying it to prophecy. Verse 7. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And hell is a condition on earth. The hell means the grave, when you look up that word. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword. Sword is the modern day, gun, like I said. And with hunger, and with death, and with beasts of the earth. So that's end time prophecy for you right there. All right. All this stuff is getting ready to fall upon the earth, and the inhabitants thereof. All right. Verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, and saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh and for the testimony which they held. They're speaking about brothers that die in the truth. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, "How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?" So when you have brothers, the saints that die in this truth, they cry they cry to the Lord. They complain to the Lord, like, yo, like, how long are you gonna let this devil rule upon us? How long are you gonna let this devil rule over the world? And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, And lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth as a fig tree casteth her ultimately figs. She is shaken of a mighty wind. And I believe it says the same thing in the book of Isaiah. I forget which chapter, but this is speaking about the destruction. When the missiles fall. And so I'm not gonna read any more of that. So anyway, I hope y'all found this video edifying. Shalom.